What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm going to give you guys 10 reasons why you should not become a garment decorator, start making t-shirts, or whatever you want to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Love what I do, very rewarding. You can make lots of money, blah, 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 but there's plenty of stuff that's very rewarding and that you can make lots of money, right? I still encourage you guys to, have some type of machines or some type of method where you can make t-shirts, because it's a great way to supplement what you are getting. It's a great way to diversify. But if you go full-time with it, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should not. Not saying that you shouldn't totally, but here's 10 reasons why you should not become a garment decorator. Reason number 1, you have to work very, very long hours. It's very, very time consuming. Being an entrepreneur in general is very, very time consuming, but being a garment decorator takes up a lot of your time. You're always problem solving. You're always trying to go above and beyond for clients, which is a good thing because you want to do that no matter what industry you're in. But oftentimes when you're not at work, your mind is thinking of ways to do things, or if you're a creative like me, you're coming up with different ideas, and when you come up with those different ideas, you want to implement those ideas, and you want to see if those ideas work. So what do? You get back in your studio, or you get back in your workspace, or you get back in your design studio, whatever you call your space where all your equipment is at, and you start working on whatever it is that you have in your head. It's very, very time consuming. Then when you have orders that you have to fill, that's something that you have to do for business to make money, right? But it's not necessarily something that you want to do. You want to do it because you want to make money, but it's not something that you would go do because it's something that you wanted to do. Something that you want to do is more like a passion project, something like that you want to make your own brand, and you had this idea of a cool little bird that you wanted to embroider or something like that. Or you want to paint something or airbrush something on the back of a jacket. That's your ideas. You want to work on your ideas, right? But when it comes to taking orders, you do it because you have to. You do it because you want to make money, right? And it's not necessarily something that you are passionate about. So it takes up a lot of time that way, right? Just all around, guys, there's a lot involved in it. Learning how to work machines takes up a lot of time before you even start to make money, right? You gotta play around and tick around with settings and stuff like that and figure out how to do stuff. It takes up a lot of time. Reason number 2, there's a lot of equipment involved in being a professional garment decorator, or being a garment decorator in general, right? So you might start off with one method, say, hey, I sell vinyl shirts, right? Hold on, give me a second. Let me stop this real fast. You start off with one method. You say, hey, I got vinyl shirts that I'm selling. Next thing you know, you like sublimation better, or you like sublimation because you see people doing sublimation. Now you want a sublimation machine. Next thing you know, oh, I want to do embroidery too because I can charge more for embroidery, and I like embroidery too. I want to do that. And next thing you know, you want to do screen printing, and you want to do this, you want to do that. There's a lot of different equipment involved in it, and these equipments take up a lot of space, right? So there's a lot of different equipment, So many in each of these pieces of equipment, all of them, guys. I don't care. Look, every single piece of equipment that I've introduced to you guys, everybody had issues in the comments. I don't care if it's Silhouette Cameo. I don't care if it's a Cricut. I don't care if it's an embroidery machine. I don't care if it's single needle. I don't care if it's multi-needle. I don't care if it's a regular printer. I don't care if it's a DTF printer. I don't care if it's a DTG printer. I don't care if it's... Think about it, guys. Every single piece of equipment has issues that you have to work through, you have to figure out, and when you do figure it out, you run into more issues, and then when you fix those issues, something else, and the computer always messes up, and then you got to turn it off and turn it back on again. There's a lot of equipment involved, and all that equipment, you got to put it somewhere, right? So that leads me to reason number 3. It takes up a lot of space. Now, I don't know what your living situation is. I don't know if you have an uncle that has a warehouse, or you have extra money that you can spend to get a facility, right? But extra space means extra money, right? If you want to get a workspace, a dedicated workspace, it takes up a lot of space. Some of you guys are starting off in your house. Some of you guys got a one bedroom. Some of you guys live in a bedroom, right? And where are you gonna put all this stuff, right? So it was cute when you start off with a Silhouette Cameo, and that's all you had was Silhouette Cameo and a little heat press. That's all fine and dandy. But then when you get into a DTF printer, or God forbid, a DTG printer, or you want a commercial embroidery machine, this stuff takes up a lot of space, and it eats into your living space like I don't know, like an infestation or something like that. It just takes up a lot of space. You guys see all the stuff that I had. You guys see where I started off at, and you guys see where I am now in a whole production studio. You guys see how fast I filled up the space. This stuff takes up a lot of space, all right? Reason number 4 that you should not be a garment decorator, not even think about it, guys. This is hard work. I don't care what anybody tells you. I think a lot of people will get into this industry thinking that, oh yeah, I can make a t-shirt. That's easy. Sell a t-shirt here, sell a t-shirt there, but what's gonna happen is if you can stick with it for long enough, you're gonna start getting those large orders. And then you're gonna see how much hard work it is and how much it takes to have it profitable and to make a significant income garment decorating. This stuff is not easy as people online make it seem. A lot of people make it seem like, oh, it's a walk in the park. Yeah, I made $500,000 and I made this and I made that. And they make it seem easy, right? But no, it's not that easy. Somebody has to do the labor. Whether it's you or whether you outsource, which I'm going to get to, somebody has to do the work, right? I'll give you for example. Like right now, I'm doing an order for a high school. Before I even got the order to start actually printing the shirts, I had to go back and forth for like 2 weeks, because they wanted me to design the shirts also, right? And they wanted me to do this, and they wanted me to do that, and this wasn't right, and this isn't, add this name, put that name. It's a lot of hard work. That's mental hard work. But now it's time to produce a shirt, and I'm doing a whole lot of physical hard work, so much so that the first batch that I printed up, my DTG printer wanted to act crazy, and be inconsistent with the print. So now I'm switching the whole job to DTFs. So I just had to put an order in. Listen, this stuff is hard work. And that was after I've been walking back and forth from DTG to DTG pre-treat, all this pre-treat solution. It is hard work. I don't care what anybody says. When you get consistent large orders, it is not a walk in the park. This industry is not as simple as you think it is. And in order to scale up and make the money that I know that you guys are looking to make, you're going to have to put a whole lot of work in, or you're going to have to optimize your business in a way that you can scale. Which leads me to reason number, what are we on, 5? Reason number 5. In order to make the money that you really want to make, the money that you hear about on YouTube, the money that you join this industry for, the money that your Lamborghini money, your big house money, you are going to have to create systems. You're going to have to create systems so that you can do things more efficiently, so that you can do things faster, because there's no way you are going to make the amount of money that you think you're going to make to buy that $1 million home or become a millionaire, right? Become a t-shirt millionaire if you're selling $20 t-shirts here and there, right? And you by yourself, newsflash, sorry, checking my DTFs here, newsflash, you by yourself are not going to sell $1 million worth of $20 t-shirts by yourself unless you put systems in place, right? Because, example, if you're selling vinyl shirts, you know how much weeding that is to sell $1 million worth of t-shirts? You know how much weeding that is? It's a lot of weeding. You by yourself? No. You're going to need people. You're going to need people around you. You're going to need people to work, right? And you're going to have to create a system so that you can make that money as fast as possible, most efficient as possible, and you kind of want to be hands off because you don't want to do all that labor. You don't want to do all that labor, right? That's kind of why you got in this industry, because you thought it was going to be easy, but it's not easy. So to create the amount of money that you want to make that amount of money, you are going to have to create systems and create methods of doing the actual manufacturing in a way that you're staying profitable, right? And you are kind of hands off, and that it's kind of almost automated, right? You're probably going to have to outsource eventually. All right, reason number 6. It is expensive, right? It requires a lot of money to do it. I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, a silhouette cameo and a heat press is not that much money. But I'm talking about to do this thing full time, to take this to the next level. It requires a lot of money, and it is really, really, really easy to get yourself or your business in a whole lot of debt. And I know most of you starting off are going to get yourselves in a lot of debt, because when you're starting off, you don't necessarily have a business, you don't have a business account, you don't have business credit. So if you're like me, when you start off, you put your stuff and some of your stuff in your personal credit. And what do? You probably don't have the cash for it because you're working at a regular job. You're not exactly financially responsible. Some of us, not all of us. But you put it on a credit card, or you get a loan, 0% financing, things of that nature. Next thing you know, you're X amount of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, and the money's not coming in fast enough because you don't have the clientele. And even when you do have the clientele, you're only going to make a certain amount of money, because why? You only have a certain amount of hours in a day to produce, and you have to sleep, and you have to eat, and you have to tend to your families, and you have other responsibilities. So those are where the systems come into play, and you got to figure out, how do I make more and make this more efficient and do this faster and do this and be more hands off so I can spend time with my family. Very, very expensive. That's a different type of expense right there. So it's very, very expensive, guys. Very, very expensive. Reason number 7, you are going to have to be very organized. If you are not an organized individual, it's going to be difficult for you to run a business. It's going to be difficult for you to keep track of things. It's going to be difficult for you to keep a organized workspace like myself, guys. You have to be very, very organized. And the main reasons why you have to be very, very organized is because when you're making money, as weird as it sounds, when you are making money, almost half of that money is not yours. You have to pay taxes on the money that you make. Keeping track of all your expenses so that you can take the necessary deductions that you can take, so you can get the tax breaks that you qualify for. And without being organized, you're just going to end up paying a whole bunch of money. So not only do you have to be organized in your workspace as far as your machines and different pieces, like your stabilizers and your needles and your tape measure and your DTF powder and all this stuff. You got to be very, very organized. Your t-shirts, you got to fold stuff up and keep stuff organized. Your orders, you have to have a system where you write everything down, and with the due dates and everything. You got to be really, really organized. And the better organized you are, the more your business will not give you a headache, and the more things will make sense. So yeah, that's reason number 7. Reason number 8, guys. Reason number 8. You want to know what reason number 8 is? You have to be creative. When you are an entrepreneur, if you want to make money, you have to get business. You have to find business. Or you have to create business, right? And in order to create business, you have to be creative. And in order for your business to thrive and grow and be successful, you have to be creative, and you have to constantly be thinking of ways to either do things better or do things differently or do things in a new way. And if you are successful doing that, that means that you are a creative person. If you are successful at getting business when there's no business coming to you, you are a creative person. So in most cases, especially as a beginning entrepreneur, you're going to have to create your own business. You're going to have to go out there, make something for somebody that did not even know they needed that something, give them a sample, and therefore you made potentially a new client, right? But that's what I mean. You have to be creative to do that. Most people can't do that. You have to be very, very, very creative. All right. Sorry, I'm waving this thing around. Reason number 9, you should not become a garment decorator because everybody's a garment decorator. Everybody's doing it, right? Everybody's doing it. The market is very, very saturated. These machines are highly accessible to people that have decent credit. Sometimes you can buy machines with cash that are low price. You know, people start off with a Silhouette Cameo and a heat press, or a heat press and some transfers. Like, it is getting ridiculously cheap to get started, and everybody is doing it. So the market is highly saturated. Everywhere you turn around, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, there's somebody offering to sell shirts or offering to make you your shirts or whatever. So it's highly saturated. There's a lot of people doing it. But let me say this. There's a lot of people doing it because that's the audience that we're looking for. That's the type of people that we're looking for on social media. Relative to everybody in the world, a lot of people are not doing it, and that's the reality. But I'm sure you guys can agree with me. When you go online, you see a lot of people garment decorating. So that means it's highly competitive. There are more people offering services to your potential customers. So everybody's doing it. In order to get that business that you want, because everybody's doing it, you're going to have to be twice as creative as the other person, because you're going to have to offer services better. You're going to have to offer a better product. You're going to have to be more creative in your packaging. You're going to have to be better, more creative all the time on a consistent basis. And if you're not creative, everybody's doing it. Recipe for disaster, right? Only thing you can do is copy off of other people. That's not being creative. That's not separating yourself from what everybody else is doing. Understand? All right. Reason number 10, and the final reason, and I can go on and on, guys. I could really go on and on. Reason number 10, it's not as glamorous as everybody online makes it seem like it is. I think some people think like, yeah, I'm gonna make garments. I'm going to always have something cute to wear, and I'm going to always have something cute on. Guys, online there's a few different types of people. Let me start with 2. There's people that show you what you can do, and there's people that actually do what they show you that they can do, right? A lot of times, the people with the cutesy little studio that has everything set up all perfectly and in their place, they're not getting business like that. Why? How do I know? Because when you start getting business like that, you need space. You need space to put things. You need space to put new machines because you're offering different services. You need space to put more machines because you got to pay taxes on stuff, so you want some tax breaks, so you bought some more stuff. You need space so you can organize your orders. You need space so you can put your other machines because you're optimizing ways of doing things faster, knocking out things faster. If you don't see your favorite content creator doing those things, they might not be getting as much business as it might seem that they're getting, right? Because there's no way you're getting consistent business on a regular basis and your workspace is super, super neat and tidy. It's just not possible. Especially if you're doing like sublimation, you're gonna have stuff all over the floor because you got butcher paper every single time. You know what I mean? It's just impossible when you're super, super busy in any shop to stay spotless clean. It's just impossible. So guys, even though I love what I do and I don't regret anything, I just want to make something different to give you guys a different perspective, because everybody always talks about how great it is and what it can do for you, but nobody ever really talks about how much of a pain in the butt it can be. And that's anything in life. Any industry you go into, it's not going to be as simple as you think it is, because if it was, everybody would be doing it. And I think right now, because everybody's doing garment decorating, but is everybody making a significant amount of money, enough to change their lives? And when that work comes, do you see them growing, or do you see them staying where they are with that same piece of equipment and just, you know, yeah, make t-shirts on the side, yeah, but are you making like $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, $200,000 a year? I don't know. Or are you just, you know, supplementing your income and making a couple $100 every week or so like that? That's cool. That's cool because, you know, you're supposed to diversify. You're supposed to have different sources of income, but just know the difference between the two. All right, just know the difference between the two. It's a great field to get into. I highly encourage you guys. I think everybody should own a heat press and a vinyl cutter at least, right? Or a heat press, and these days transfers, order transfers from influencers like us, right? I highly encourage you to use influencers when you're buying products. Why? Because one day you're going to be selling a product and you would want somebody to patronize your small business. So you should do the same for people that are like you are going to be. If that makes any sense. Yeah. So you should definitely, when you're shopping, buy from small people, not just the same big people that you've been shopping at for like the last, you know, since you've been in existence. Nike, Reebok, Adidas, Puma, not knocking them at all. You know, Versace, Balenciaga, all those places, not knocking them at all. Indulge, but by all means, you're going to be a little person yourself starting your business. So when it's time, when you have the opportunity, make sure you are consistently supporting the little people that are trying to make a living selling their merch, right? Because some of those little people are going to be big people and you'd wish you had that when they first started off. Just saying, guys. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to give you guys some perspective, because online I think this is highly glamorized and people are not telling you the 100% truth. It's hard work. It's hard work, especially, and I got to emphasize this, especially when those orders start coming in on a consistent basis. Can you imagine, okay, small orders versus big orders? Still hard work, because if you get a whole bunch of small orders, you're constantly changing and resetting, constantly resetting on a consistent basis all the time. Versus if you get a large order, oh my gosh, I got so many of these to do. It's never stopping. All hard work. All right. So I hope this made you think. Put some more reasons in the comments down below why you would not want to get into the garment decorating industry. And also, why don't we balance this up? Put some reasons why you would want to get into the garment decorating industry. All right. But I'm just here to tell you that, like, don't believe the hype, guys. It's not as easy as it seems. All right. All right. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Turn up that, crank it up. Why listen to the rest when you're rocking with the best, baby?